This is yet another one of my oldie but goodies. Many of you may remember that Stacy sent this into my channel back in 2022. I will make sure to include the link to her blog in the comments below. My experience is a combination of many visions that I was able to experience when I had my near-death experience and left my body. During my experience, I had been diagnosed with postpartum depression after just having my second child. My condition triggered something deep inside me to question my existence, and a deep yearning to understand why evil existed. After just bringing another helpless child into the world, my heart cried out to God because I felt convicted for bringing another child into a world so full of suffering. I felt a strong urge not to eat, so I fasted for what seemed like a week. During the second week, I felt my senses become very heightened. My sense of smell was so intense that I could actually smell all of the poisons in products around my home, like dish soap with fragrance, dryer sheets, preservatives in food and medication, and I could even sense cell phone radiation. The veil started to get very thin, and I could see shadow-like figures that had no souls who wanted to harm me but couldn't. It was like these shadow figures were some type of accumulation of negative energy that could shapeshift into different faces to try and scare me at night. I lost many nights of sleep due to the fear, and since I had completely depleted my body from not eating, I felt myself slip into a dark hole, since I had allowed fear to consume me and have power over me. It was like I had become fear itself, and I was sitting in this state of fear for what seemed like an eternity, because it was a place without time. I realized I had put myself in this place, and I didn't belong there, so I cried out and begged God to come to get me. A light came out of the darkness and lifted me up and out of a dark tunnel. The higher I got, the lighter I felt. I suddenly felt a surge of love and compassion. I felt angels all around me, full of love and light, who were a part of God, and I could ask them anything and speak to them directly through thought and through God, who was all around me in a beautiful light. I wanted to know, but I felt a sense of bewilderment come over me. Was I worthy of such a question? Before my thoughts could form my question, how did the universe begin? The answer was already being revealed to me without hesitation. My consciousness isolated my question. My whole being entered into a portal of my mind. Suspended in a timeless state of complete peace, I felt as if I were in God's womb as I watched the first thought of creation, a brilliant point of light surrounded by a full spectrum of colors. Coming out of the point of light were God's words, and the words repeated, "I am, that I am, that I am." The words felt like an eruption each time they were spoken. Each "I am" was like a giant rumble shooting up and out from my soul with enormous pressure. My whole soul felt like I was inside a fountain of light, and the bursts of energy radiated throughout my whole body, like I was jumping off a giant cliff, encapsulating my whole heart. Each "I am" was more profound than the last, and I knew creation itself was never ending, but one continuous thought repeated for eternities. I was living and breathing the first word, but even more than that, I was within the word. It didn't matter who or what I was, because I was. The "I am" was only the beginning, and we were one with the first thought. We thought with God because we were aligned with God perfectly. After the first thought, "I am," became "we are," and then back to "I am," one universe ending and another beginning. We never had to die, and we never would. We would always and forever be a part of God. We are in His first thought forever. We are one heart beating in the universe, throbbing with pulsating bursts of love. Love is so brilliant that it can never be destroyed. I saw that there was a balance of yin and yang within the thought. No evil, but only freedom within a thought that created questions. Our questions created life, and our lives created answers. A stream of faces and lives poured through my consciousness. I felt every soul and every life was just a journey a timeline of evolutionary love. Some faces were soft and innocent, which grew into flawed perceptions that carried them into darkness. But then, emerging from the darkness, they were more beautiful than when they had started. Every eternity was an opportunity for growth. Any evil ever manifested by our thoughts was now starting to fade. Soon, we would all emerge from our cocoons and become our truest selves. Lessons were learned, our love had evolved, and all of us were ready to start a new eternity of pure, intentional love. God had allowed us to create a new eternity within Him, and it was being revealed to me. I saw our dream within God's dream. Why me? Why was I given this gift? How was I able to comprehend the most breathtaking image of life? In a giant boom, I felt the answer, like a jolt to my heart. Because you asked. As if I watched it all in a flash, instantly knowing that it all made sense, seeing the reason why, and the timing for each soul to evolve and change through an endless universe. I asked more questions, and the answers kept coming, and every time I asked, I was then experiencing the answers like I was a part of a live movie. The bubbles were everywhere. It seemed strange bubbles. Yes, like I was sitting in a dark room watching endless bubbles float around me. Inside each bubble is another reality. How many realities are possible for one soul? Endless realities. One star is connected to endless bubbles of realities, and each star has its dark room of endless bubbles. It seems so vast and difficult to comprehend. When I thought about my bubbles, I realized how many times I had created my reality, and a piece of me, and the energy I emitted in that time was still left in this bubble of space and time, not trapped, but ever present. How in all of these bubbles was I not trapped when I did not see a way out? I came to realize that each bubble was a present reality that I had accepted. My life led me to that bubble, and when I chose to live again, my soul went on. But a piece of me would always remain present in that bubble of space and time, as long as this current universe was present. Each bubble had a world inside as real as my current reality. Some were dark and filled with chaos, while others were peaceful and tranquil. In my current reality, I had no recollection of myself in any of these other bubbles, so what purpose did they serve for me now? My current reality was allowing me to recreate my choices based on past lives, and each bubble, although unseen, was a subconscious reminder of my evolution and the lessons I had learned. In hindsight, they were still a part of me, and one day, each bubble would reflect the best version of who I had become. How many chances was I given? Endless chances, and each time I failed, I got right back up and tried again. When I see others in my current reality, I cannot comprehend why or how someone could do such horrendous things. I realize they are choosing, but at the same time, still learning who they want to become based on their free will. They are on a different timeline of evolution. These bubbles, although created by our choices and the energy we transcend, are ultimately a place to learn from after each life we live. Heavenly bubbles and hellish bubbles, all reflecting our own current reality of who we are and want to be. I knew they were a part of our current universe, transitional realities, but separate from the plane of existence that was actual heaven, waiting for us just on the other side. Souls chose to be selfish in this life, and then leave this reality to a bubble of darkness where they felt all of the anguish and pain their victims felt, to feel not just the pain of others, but also the pain from an all-knowing presence that felt the pain of those affected during their life by the choices they made. Each soul is faced with the choice to live again and do it over, this time learning from the pain they felt in darkness and bringing that burden with them into their current reality. It made sense. How could any one of us choose love if there were no other choices? If the choices we made did not have a consequence, then there would be no room for us to evolve, make new choices, and become better versions of ourselves. Then I saw nothing but dark bubbles for some, an endless soup of darkness, energy becoming more grotesque than the last bubble. Why was this soul not learning? Why did they enjoy the darkness? They kept recreating more evil each time they came back to life again. I saw their star was shrouded by darkness, and nothing was left but a speck of light. Why would someone want to choose this over love? I cried in agony over this. An all-knowing presence told me that free will is the only way for us to choose love, and some don't choose it, even after many lifetimes. Once I saw our new universe being created out of love, and our evolution of choices and sacrifices to live again and again for each other, each time choosing love just to share it, so our love would grow stronger. I understood. Love being the very foundation for our brand new universe, I knew it did not matter. All of those bubbles of darkness would be overtaken by our love. Love would give the energy being emitted in these bubbles only one option: love. Not that they would choose love, but the variations of love that our new universe stood upon transformed this energy into a million butterflies. Fields of looming flowers in endless bubbles, and butterflies in a state of peace and awareness. I entered into one of these bubbles. It was a bubble I knew well, and I had been there before. I was a butterfly for an eternity, and it did not matter who I was anymore. I was just present and aware, only barely grasping the purpose of life, as simple as it seemed. My intelligence was based on what colors I was seeing, and the peacefulness encompassed me in an endless reality in which I did not care. The idea of a question seemed very distant to me, and my identity was that I belonged to the garden, and I was no different than a flower. I had no agenda but to just be. This bubble of reality offered so much growth potential. It was such an innocent stage of evolution that I understood why it was the only choice left for the lost souls to adapt to, because the variations of love that we evolved from only grew stronger, and the lost souls would need to evolve from somewhere. Their innocent soul would get the opportunity to start a brand new life on Earth with a clean slate and evolve just as we did. Meanwhile, we moved on. Our new universe was ready as we entered into one bubble together, leaving behind our scattered bubbles of realities to recreate a brand new adventure. It was like sitting on a rocket together as we joyfully counted down from 10 to lift off into our beautiful new adventure, fueled with great excitement. I saw our new universe grow, and the variations of love that we created held it together. We kept evolving, and I saw many new stars being born. We had come so far, and now we were able to watch a new creation of love unfold before our very eyes. I was taken to the new universe. It was in the earliest stages of growth, and although it would eventually contain many new solar systems, it would remain within one galaxy until it grew. I saw there were many planets, and in the middle was the sun, but it was more like a warm light. The light was a portal to the source, God, allowing us to use the light energy to travel between our planets, and we could also go through it to rest on our new astral plane, new heaven. My angels used the term soul stream for my understanding, although I knew that our new language was different. The new planets were all unique and provided us with so much adventure, but our main planet was our true home. It looked like Earth with mountains and waterfalls and green fields, but it was more beautiful and a lot bigger. We lived in kingdoms with each other, and each kingdom was a day's journey apart. I stood on the balcony as my evolved self and looked out beyond the horizon. As my future self, I felt strong and content, and I remember being so proud of who I had become. I heard myself speak in poetry, and the language was so beautiful it sounded like a song. The rest of our language was telepathic, so we could share our feelings and emotions. We looked like ourselves, but without flaws. We had all of the good memories from our past lives, and there were no secrets between us, only appreciation and complete faith that we acknowledged because of the innate sacrifices we knew we had made for each other from our past lifetimes. Each person was like our greatest soulmate, and our love for each other was immense. I remember I could barely contain my emotions peering in, and the love was so strong I felt like crying uncontrollably, as if I were watching a really happy ending of a movie. My future self could only express a few tears of joy and laughter. I saw there was no death. We would love to be a solemn age, and our appearance was just slightly older, resembling the age of 40 here on Earth. I watched as someone I knew well and loved dearly reach the time of age to move on. There was only one tear. It was a sad and joyful farewell, like saying goodbye to a loved one going on a long journey and knowing we would see each other again. Then I saw the letting go and allowing our body to turn into the light, like it was as simple as holding our breath and exhaling very slowly. Our light body would then be free to enter the soul stream for the next journey, and the best part was that fear no longer existed. Each planet was like heaven on Earth, and we were directly connected to our light at all times. We would soul stream between planets, allowing our souls to evolve in a new, exciting way. It was essential for us as individuals to take this journey and meet new people and old friends on different planets we had shared past lives with. It helped us grow and form a strong bond with everyone in our new universe. I went to all the planets, and there was never a dull moment. I remember going to the last planet and being told I would forget my journey among the previous planets. I arrived at the last planet. It was the furthest from all the others. It had pale pink sand with specks of glittering pale yellow. The oceans were vast and full of the most beautiful reefs. I sat on the beach and looked up into the sky. It was breathtaking. The sky was lit by a dim purple star, which gave off a warm light and filled the horizon with a pale purple hue. It was even more beautiful at night when you could see the stars. While swimming, I had a mermaid's tail, but I didn't notice or seem to care, as it felt so normal while I was exploring the sea. There were others around me, and we knew each other as old friends who would see each other one time after a long journey. I was told I could remember this last planet. I left, and remember feeling sad the journey had ended, but once I entered my soul stream, I was content again. The feeling of being in the soul stream was like floating down a river wrapped in a warm blanket, in complete peace and comfort. I was ready to rest for a season, and I was given the choice to return to the source light. This was the most exciting of all my adventures because it was such a surprise. I remember the feeling of being complete and perfectly aligned with the Creator as we looked out onto the universe. The complexity was so vast that the Creator taught me how to create the stars. It was like working on a giant canvas, painting the heavens with my father. I felt like a kid again. I never wanted it to end and was perfectly content, as if I were sitting on my grandfather's lap while he read to me. The choice to go back to my home planet was mine when I wanted to, and I was excited to see my loved ones again. From far away, I saw the new universe over time grow with new stars and solar systems, all connected by our light. From far away, the universe looked like an hourglass. Our hourglass universe is the perfect form to protect our love with the dynamics of infinity. One side is our current universe we live in now, in the middle of our source, the great I Am, heaven, and on the other side is our new universe. I saw in our current universe that souls were starting over. These souls were once a part of the darkness and lost souls in our current universe, and this energy was transformed by no other means but love, resulting from our evolution and free will to overcome fear. These souls would eventually evolve, but this time without fear. Meanwhile, we, in our new universe, grew and expanded our love, and our current universe worked in collaboration by recycling old energy into new energy, resulting in the perfect balance of love and infinity. That does it for Stacy's experience. Thank you again, Stacy, for sending this to me to read. I hope that I have done well in the retelling of your experience. For those of you listening and who wish to learn more about Stacy's experience, visit her blog at innovatedheart.com. The link will also be included in the description section below this video. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about Stacy's experience. Until the next video, be blessed.